Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching and Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channels. Of course, you're here on Pro Wrestling Logic, but if you are looking for life, relationship, or business coaching, please go to my main channel, Golden Opportunities Coaching, and we would love to be of service to you there. This particular episode is the February 11th, 1995 edition of WCW Saturday Night. We kind of open up with what amounts to an interesting run with Brian Pillman here against George South. Pillman, relatively new babyface, looks rather actually bloated, hangs on to the arm. George South still around all these years later. South, one of the best enhancement talents, perhaps of all time. Journeyman guy who's been around for 30 plus years. I believe he came in 82, 83, something like that. Rana by Pillman, which is rare at the time. Just seeing more of the high-risk maneuvers. Pillman comes up and hits a couple of shots and ultimately gets a leaping DDT. Pillman has a resurgence. Flair complaining is your next segment here, complaining about the lack of opportunity to get reinstated. Of course, Flair has been eliminated from WCW in the late October, Halloween Havoc 1994. Flair versus Hogan, I think it was career versus career. I know at least Flair's career was on the line at the time. And Flair talking about wanting to be reinstated, wanting to do something, although also claiming he didn't want to wrestle. But it was kind of confusing because in some sentences he sounded like he wanted to wrestle, others he didn't. But anyway, he's going to confront the commissioner, Nick Bockwinkel, next week over this issue and maybe get a resolution or something to that effect. Anyway, we get the Avalanche in an enhancement match here. Enhancement guy hits a couple of drop kicks, but misses a couple too. Avalanche also hits a power slam, among other things, and eventually hits the old earthquake splash. And he basically says he's going to align with Big Bubba. That team seems to be a new team that really doesn't go as far as I imagine they were thinking it would. Then we go to a Super Brawl 5 Control Center. Main match there is Hogan and Vader, and ultimately that is where it remains. Nasty Boys up next. A lot of punch kick there. Nasty Boys, basic enhancement talent match. Still getting ready for their tag team championship match with Harlem Heat at the Super Brawl 5 event. They basically say that Harlem Heat isn't as tough as they think they are in a post-match promo. Punch kick, power slam, and pump handle slam, and away we go into another victory. Gene Okerlund, still one of the better stickmen in the entire area. Arn Anderson has regained the television championship from Johnny B. Bad at the time. Their feud is pretty notable for the next little while. Anderson is one of the better technicians at any point, facing off against Mark Starr here. Anderson does everything well, from the way he puts on his headlocks to his arm bars, basic stuff. Colonel Parker and Ming on the outside supporting Anderson as the stud stable continues. Bear hug into a hammerlock slam by Anderson. Of course, harkening back to the old school Andersons, Ole and Lars and Gene. Anderson then hits the spine buster, gets it done, and basically says he is done with all of it. Colonel Robert Parker not particularly happy, but Anderson says that he is once again television champion, and he's very happy. They go to a personality profile with Sting, where Sting beats Lex Luger, among other people. Kind of the idea being that, in fact, Sting is able to beat WWF guys. That's the idea. Another personality profile, I wouldn't even call it necessarily personality profile. I'd just call it a very basic deal where putting Sting over is in video package form over the next couple of weeks is a pretty big deal. Vader hits a choke slam and a Vader bomb against 2-on-1 handicap match style enhancement talents. Vader also hits a power bomb, gets things going in his general direction that way. They show the Clash of the Champions face off with Vader and Hogan. Vader promises to eliminate Hulk Hogan once and for all. They're going into a, I believe, strap match uh, at the pay per view, the Super Brawl pay per view. I'm pretty sure they're going into that. The Butcher comes out and has a very rare squash match at the time. Actually, watches a relatively rare squash match. Kevin Sullivan is here. Lots of punching, lots of kicking. Sullivan, probably one of the more basic wrestlers ever. But the three faces of fear, which is Butcher, Sullivan, and Avalanche, are here. Butcher still claims that he's going to eliminate Hulk Hogan and Randy Savage and Sting. So the idea being that those are your main adversaries at the time. Marcus Bagwell and the Patriot facing off against Harlem Heat here. Harlem Heat getting ready for their Super Brawl matchup there. Cut the ring off on the Patriot for a little while. Patriot does bounce back. Bagwell manages to get the hot tag and manages to work over the arm of Harlem Heat for a little while. Nothing to necessarily write home about, but a very basic and good tag match. If you need to learn tag psychology, this is a good place to do it, as both teams are very good. By this point, Harlem Heat kind of ready for that main tag team role by this point in early 95. Been around for a couple of years yet, maybe a year and a half or so, and they're really coming into their own. Stevie Ray coming off the top rope with the old Alabama Jam spot, but misses. Baby faces are bumping around a good bit for the heels. All four guys get in the ring, but eventually toss out, and Sherry interferes, including a top rope splash from Sister Sherry post match. That's the idea, and then kind of they're hyping the Hogan and Vader deal here. And, Vader shown in a video package turning Dustin Rhodes, among other people, inside out, getting ready for Hulk Hogan, and they show the, I believe, Clash of the Champions powerbomb of Hogan by Vader, and certainly Hogan closes the show yet again with promises to vanquish Vader once and for all. In any event, that is where we go, and until next time, keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Until next time, everybody.